think people are not risk averse, and I can probably point you to 40 companies, listed companies, that have gone broke in the last 6 months in tech and in pharma, right? And some of those companies, by the way, did have good technology, but just didn't have enough cash. I often think of that as the company's fault. If you can't tell the story and convince people, then that's your problem, not the investor's problem. But the people who put money into those 40 odd companies, they've taken big risks. And the fact they've gone broke is evidence that they've taken big risks. Where we have, and the same is in the US. So I don't look at what I'll call the mum and dad investors as being terribly different from in the US. There are some minor differences, which I'll come to, but when you come to the institutional investors, the sophisticated investors, what the US has is not a difference in risk perception as though it's just a standalone concept. They have such depth of market and such depth of funds that if I go to see a fund in New York, I can go to see a fund that specialises in pharmaceuticals and medical devices. And so when I go to have a meeting, they'll bring in 2 of their staff who are doctors, so they know it. When I go to see a typical Australian fund, they don't have doctors. There have been over the journey 1 or 2 doctors, and then gone back to practice, or then gone to be an analyst. But the depth over there of the market means that you can get a lot more specialisation, And so I think that's the only big difference that I would see. But with a knockout product, let's say like Polynovo, that got funded first of all for the first 2 or 3 raises, by me through the Australian marketplace and through fund managers. So that now I would have, I don't even know, 60 fund managers from Australia on the register, and I've probably got another 40 from overseas. Now it helps when you get in the index, because when you get in the index, there's a lot of funds around the place that need to buy into your stock. So I have a group, for example, in Greenland that I've never even heard of, never even met, who have got 500,000 shares that they bought at $2.50 because I was in the index. They just have to look at the index worldwide and back that. So I think that's one big difference is the depth of market. But you can't then take that on to talk about how innovative Australia is versus not. Okay, to the extent that you can get funding easier from knowledgeable investors in the US, sure, that might affect innovation, but it's a worldwide market. So if I've got something here that does pap smears or IVF or ears or whatever, brain or whatever, there are people in the US